Hey everybody, Wichiton here. I know it's been a while since I've posted a lot of things. Um, my family and I moved out of Houston and we were trying to get resettled, and I haven't unpacked all my computer stuff and hooked that up yet. And right now, right after moving, I had to come to Michigan for some training and some work. So that put a delay on everything, and it is. I'm not even back in Houston yet. I'll be here probably till Friday. I'll fly back, and then I'll start getting things set up. But I wanted to make a quick video. I'm watching on the news, watching about all the protesting that's going on in France over this carbon tax that they've placed on their fuel. And I've noticed, first of all, I've noticed how some of the media aren't even talking about how it's a climate change thing. They're just saying, oh, it's a fuel tax. Which it is a fuel tax, but I like how they neglect to mention that these citizens of France are protesting the carbon tax, the climate change portion of it, because it just doesn't fit their narrative. So they want to leave that little bit out. But the bigger issue that I want to bring attention to is the fact that you see the police shooting tear gas into the crowds. Now, these are populated areas of the cities. They have no control over where this gas is going, where this tear gas is drifting off into the residential areas. Now, the entire world came down on President Trump because our immigration border patrol was shooting tear gas into the caravans that were rushing our borders, trying to break into the country, force their way into the country, and throwing rocks and bottles at our border patrol agents. Everybody wanted to paint him as the bad guy because there were women and children there. Now, no one is saying anything about the French police shooting tear gas just randomly. Oh, well, they're not shooting it randomly. They're shooting it at the protesters, but they have no control over where the gas is going, drifting off into the neighborhoods. You see it going into all these apartment complexes, but that's perfectly fine. Where are all these human rights people that were just trying to paint Trump as a bad guy for doing this, when this is police tactics 101? We do this to our own citizens as well. When they start protesting because their team lost the game, and but nobody cares when it's our citizens. Nobody cares when it's the French citizens. But when it becomes the Honduran citizens, suddenly it's a human rights violation. And these are evil people. It just goes to show you that they know that they don't really care. It's just an opportunity to smack Trump. Even though they know what's happening is perfectly fine. This is what you do when you have a crowd of people. In Mexico, it was hundreds trying to force their way into our country, throwing rocks and bottles. This is police tactics 101. They know that. They know it's not a big deal. It's just tear gas. For those of you who have never experienced it, every single person that's ever gone into the military has to experience it, just so you know what it's like. It's not that bad. You don't pass out unless you're sitting there just breathing it. I don't know anybody that's passed out who has come in contact with it and then has left. Like I said, maybe if you picked up the can and just started breathing it, maybe you would, but you don't do that. You start breathing it. It opens up your sinuses for like no other. You just snot and everything's running down. You're coughing. You try not to cough because if you cough, you end up sucking it in more. But you do vacate the area and then everything's fine. You know, you don't see people falling out of the street in France because they breathed tear gas and passed out. You don't see that in our own citizens when they start acting a fool and police have to use tear gas. Does anybody ever remember someone falling out? All the times you've seen tear gas used in the news, have you ever remember anybody saying that they passed out, or have you ever all the coverage that's happened? Do you ever remember seeing someone just fall out because they were breathing tear gas? No. But I digress. So, like I said, I'm watching the news. I wanted to point that out. The double standard, yet again. Like I said, I'm not arguing one way or the other. I just wanted to point out, what the left doesn't want anybody to pay attention to, the double standard. But that's it for now. Like I said, I'm in Michigan still. And when I get back to Wichita, back to Houston, I will unpack my stuff and start making some videos again. But just to let you guys see, it's so cold here. I actually haven't worn this coat in over a year because you just don't need it down in Houston. So I'm going to finish watching the news and I'm going to go find a place to eat dinner. Got to call the wife. So see you next time. Peace. Thanks for watching.